Welcome to the Simple Life 2 on the official Simpletons server. I'm Winry, and today we're going to work on some Botania. I would like to get my garden going over here. This is where the Botania garden is going. If you can see in the journey map, I have a little set mapped out. This is actually going to be the road walking around this area. So this will be kind of where the bulk of my Botania is, and probably some along the outsides too, depending on how in-depth I get with it. I have done a little bit of landscaping here. As you can see, I've mowed and I've kind of leveled out a few areas. I didn't want it completely flat. I do prefer to build according to the terrain versus making everything flat. That's just my build's preference. I do like to do a little bit of shaping, and we'll have to do a little bit here to lower this, since this will be where the road is. But this is where we're going to get started, and for those of you who are...
Congratulations! You've just officially become a dog of the military.
Thank you for resubscribing, Boozy Gamer. I appreciate it, and welcome back to the Mechanics Guild. Thank you, Boozy Gamer. So we've got Alexica Botania. This is like a wiki in-game, essentially. There's so much in here that you probably can get overwhelmed pretty easily. So what I'd like to do, as I've done with this stuff down here when we were just getting started, kind of walk you through it as if it's a guide, or not quite a tutorial, but a lot of people... Hi, Alchemist. A lot of people get overwhelmed with Botania because it feels like a magic mod, and it also has elements of tech, and the use of flowers confuses people. There's a lot of things about Botania that when you're not a Botania lover, it's more often the case that you're more confused with it, don't quite understand it. So I'd like to do some Botania today, and it'll be in a way, hopefully, that you'll be able to understand what I'm doing, kind of relate it to other forms of technology or magic within Minecraft. And yeah, feel free to ask me questions if you're in chat and you don't understand what I'm doing, so that we can get those resolved. We are going to relocate this little bit of stuff that I've just thrown down here. But first, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do these challenges that are in the Alexica Botania. Now, I believe the 1.12 version also has these. They may even have a few more. And I'm not going to follow them to the letter because they're intended to be challenges, the things to do with only Botania and vanilla. And while we're in a modded world, there's a lot more options. So I'm going to use whatever options I can think of to help solve some of these challenges. I don't know if I'm going to accomplish them all, but it might be nice to do some to help you understand some of the mechanics of Botania. And it is my all-time favorite mod ever. Ever. That's right, it outranks Thaumcraft, for those of you who know how much I like Thaumcraft. So yeah, so the first one, we're going to try a couple of these easy ones. Flower Farm, we probably won't do Record Farm today. Automate the Pure Daisy might happen today. Definitely get a mana battery established, which means we need to generate some mana. There are some options for mana generation, so we'll be working on that. I'm very likely going to do Gormarillis, because I have so many food options in this pack. So many. And with 1.10.2 Botania, we only need to feed it one food item. If you're playing Botania in 1.12, you need to alternate between two different foods. So it's a little bit more tricky, but it's not that difficult. You just need to have a timer and two different dispensers. That's really all that is there, so that's not a big deal. This flat area here will be the greenhouse where I will have my flower farm established. So notice here, the first one is create an automated farm. Automated farm of all 16 colors of Botania flowers. Bonus points if the flowers are sorted. Now, in a Botania/vanilla method, there are really easy ways to do this with just Botania and vanilla. And I can explain them to you as we do this, but I need flowers to get anything done. But in order to do this flower farm that they're intending here, I need to make a jaded amaranthus and have some managen going. So we're going to set up managen first, and then once we have some power, we'll be able to do this. Alright, the method that I've been using currently for flowers is using the tall flowers. Just refresh your memory for those of you who don't know. If you do tall flowers, first, if you find them out in the world, don't break them. You need to use shears to be able to pick them up. If you try to just smash them like you do any other plant, you're not going to be able to get it. It will just break and disappear. So you need to use shears to break them and pick them up, but you can also use this trick. If you break it and pick it up with the shears, you can break it down into 4 petals, plant the petal, and bone meal it, and you get another tall one. So it's a great way of making a ton of petals really fast, because one of the small ones only gives you 2 petals. So this is a really fast way of doing that, but we're going to be doing the other method. That in there for now as well. Okay, for mana generation, your entry-level flower, you have 2 entry-level flowers. Now, let's think about this in the tech way. The tech way is, for most people, when they're wanting to start a tech mod, you do what? You create a furnace generator, right? A solid fuel generator of some sort. That's traditionally the first one. Ender.io in this pack has the solid fuels, the Stirling generator, and I think there's one with immersive engineering too. No, immersive goes the passive route. There is a passive flower in Botania. There's a hydrangea, which is a passive power. It does die. I'm not sure what the timer is set at for this mod pack. I think it would be, it's like 3 to 5 in-game days that it dies. So this, and it produces such pittance for power, you don't want to stick with these. But the Endoflame is your furnace generator. No one ever sticks with the entry-level generator, even in tech. When you start when you start Ender.io, for example, in this pack, you're not going to just make a huge array of furnace generators and say that's all I need for power for the rest of the pack. You're going to move on to something that produces more. And that is why there are so many options in Botania. Let me show you what I have currently for options for mana generation. Look at all those different furnaces I can use, all those different generators. Now, there are more than this, but you need to unlock them. There is a gate in Botania called Portal to Alfheim that will unlock even more generating options. We are going to automate. The first one we're going to do is this one, the Gormorillus. The Gormorillus is a hungry flower. It'll eat up any food in a small area around it and turn it into mana. There's a catch though, it can only digest a single food at any given time. The mana is created when it's done. Then other food it finds it'll also devour but not create any mana from it. The amount of time it takes to digest a delicacy depends on its nutritional value. In layman's terms, the amount of food points it restores. So, a steak will take 4 seconds to digest, an apple will take 2, and a loaf of bread will take 2.5, and so on. The amount of mana created also makes use of this value, but in a way where the more food points the food heals, the more efficient it is. For example, a single steak will produce more mana than 2 apples, both absolutely and per second. Get that? Spice of life for Botana would be terrible. I agree, Silver Fox. That would be terrible. So, we're going to move on from our furnace generator, which, as I said, you can just throw coal at it and it'll pick it up. And I noticed I do not have my wand. The mana spreader is not pointing at the pool. There we go. And there we go. It produces Alchemist. The only fun part of that nutrition stuff, Botania, is if the pack also has PAMs. The science of figuring out some of that stuff can be crazy. Doesn't have to have PAMs, but like for example, he was saying steak. If you had the mod that shows you the meat pops and the saturation, the meat pops is how long it takes to burn the food, and the saturation, it will tell you how much mana it has the potential of producing. So it's shown for you here, but if you don't have the mod that shows you when you hover over a food item, you do have that difficulty, that challenge. If you don't have that mod, there is still a way to find out how well a food is going to work for you. And that is to wait until your meat pops, your own food bar, is down really low, and then eat the food. You'll be able to count how many meat pops it fills up and see how much saturation, that's the glowing, it fills up on your person, and then use that as a determiner on if you think it is a good food. Now, if you're doing vanilla only, I believe things like steak and baked potatoes are the highest for vanilla food only. Or maybe, yeah, I think that's what it is. I haven't decided what food I'm going to do with the Gormorillus. We need to make a Gormorillus first. So that's what we're going to do tonight, as in it is nighttime. Yes, well, that's part of it. Once you know how many meat pops and saturation it uses, you'll know how long it takes to dispense that mana out. That's what that means. This is the timer. So yeah, we need to make a Gormorillus. This is the recipe. We need a couple of runes. And as you can see, one of these runes is a tier 2 rune. It's a seasonal rune, which means it requires tier 1 runes to craft. We used up quite a bit of our tier 1 runes when we made the terrestrial agglomeration plate yesterday. So we have some rune crafting to do. Yay! Rune crafting is a mechanism, if you're familiar with Actually Editions, actually used this as an inspiration for the Empowerer. It's pretty much in-game crafting where you need to combine items and then use a catalyst and power to create it. So that is what the runic altar is. You apply items and power via mana, and then a catalyst, which for runes is living rock, and it creates a new item for you. So we need to make a few of those. Let's go in and get the materials we're going to need. Ooh, an Enderman. Hello, Mr. Enderman, with speed, or is that haste? Pink bubbles means haste? I got a head. Oh, that'll be nice and helpful. I got 3 ender pearls. Go looting. 4 ender pearls from 2 endermen. That's nice. Alright, and an enderman hen. This will be useful as well. Okay, so let's look at this. For a rune of fire, we need nether brick, gunpowder, nether wart, mana powder, and mana steel. Now, I'm pretty sure I have some mana steel over there. We're going to use redstone for mana powder because I don't use much of that stuff. Nether wart. We're going to grab a few of these. Nether brick. And gunpowder. We don't have a whole lot of that. Do I have stone? I should grab some stone for crafting some more living rock. There we go. Alright. Do I have living rock? I do. I already have some mana steel and mana powder, so we'll tuck that in there. Now there are two ways to apply this to the runic altar. You can either queue and throw them on, or you can right click and add them. When it's ready to go, you'll get that sound and you'll get a heads up display. We need to move the spreader so that it's pointing at the runic altar. And this is pretty much the conduits. So we're sending a point to the runic altar. It's getting power. Once the power has filled up, once it's reached its buffer, for those of you who like tech mods, it needs the catalyst. So it'll tell you in the heads up display, please place living rock and hit with wand. That is what that little heads up display thing is. Right click with the living rock or Q to throw it on. Right click with your wand and you get runes. Alright, so that's how that works. We're going to do a couple more because we need to do this one. This one requires earth and air, of which I don't think I have either. Nope, so we're going to need to do both of those. Let's organize this a bit. I don't like how messy it is. That, it creates those. Alright. Air. We can use JEI to find these. Rune of Air requires carpet, feather, string, and then always mana steel and mana powder for that first tier. And I didn't grab any with me for those. I need to set up some wireless crafting. That'd be nice. So we've got string, not a whole lot of that. Carpet, we don't have, but do we have a wool? We do, so let's make some carpet. And then feather. Pretty low on feathers. We need to catch those guns. Okay, wait, what is the other one we need? Earth. Stone, block of coal, and any mushroom. I have the stone on me because I'm making living rock. Make a few blocks of coal. And I don't think I have mushrooms in here, do I? I do. Let's leave one. Alright. And then we'll get... I already have it on my inventory. So... get that one going. Let's throw another piece of coal down. And then... it's almost daytime! Woohoo! Won't have to keep looking up for mobs. There's the air runes, and now the earth runes. Get that going. Air needs string, carpet, feathers. We need this one and one of those. Then we've got earth runes. We'll put one of those in there. And that, and that. So now those are a bit more organized. Now just hopefully I don't click sort and ruin it all. Pick these up. There we go. And so we need to make the summer Summer Rune requires 2 sand, a slime ball, and melon. It requires vanilla slime balls, just so you guys know. It won't work with Tinker slime balls. Melon. Grab some melon. And grab some sand and slime balls. Okay, so we're making a tier 2 rune, and the special thing about tier 2 runes is that when you use tier 1 runes in the crafting of a tier 2 rune, you will get your lower tier runes back. So here we're going to use the air and earth, 1 melon, 1 slime ball, 2 sand, and when it's done we will get the earth rune, the air rune, and then the summer runes that we're crafting. So that is something new. If you played 1.7.10 Botania, you probably thought that was such a grind because you would not get those runes back. Gonna be out of mana here shortly. I'm hoping I can get my Gormarillas made before that happens. There we go. We got all our runes back. Let's put this back here and give you some more coal. Alright. Back to the book so you guys can see. Now for petals we need red, yellow, and a light gray. So let's take a look at what we got in here. We only need 2 light gray, we need 1 red, and 1 yellow. I have a... what do I have in my pouch? I have a red one in here, so we'll do that. Too bad the pouch doesn't hold the 2 tall ones. It would sure make that a little easier. Okay, so we need a bucket for water, because this is a petal apothecary crafting recipe. Oh, there's water in there. So we put... what was it again for petals? Babe, I don't know. 1 red, 2 of the others. Okay. And I'm just throwing them in. It will show what's in there. And then we need to put summer and fire. And since we did it correctly, it does the same thing that the runic altar did. It says now I need something else to finish it, which is a seed. Throw it in, get a flower. Okay, so this one we're gonna put up here. Right here would make me happy. And time to relocate this setup. So let's get our tablet. We're gonna relocate the mana. It is currently set to take out of the pool. We're gonna switch the arrow so that it goes to the tablet and pick up all that mana. Pick up our generating flower here. Relocate it up here for just emergency bursts of power. Where do I want it? That ought to be fine. And let's go make a dispenser. So we need a bow. We're out of string. Let's go get some string. I have a cotton farm over here to produce a little bit of that. Alright. We'll make ring first then. And go back to making a bow. And then we should be able to do this. There we go. Dispenser. Okay, we need a piece of redstone. And go back out here. Alright. Do I have... I don't. Did I make a Mana Seer monocle last time? No. I probably should. That'll help you guys out. Nuggets, Mana Steel, Mana Glass. I need to grab a piece of glass so we can convert it to Mana Glass. Alright. Get the spark I did. My mana battery is gonna go here. There, right? Nope. That's where I want it. And we'll switch this back to take mana out of the tablet. There it goes. Make our Mana Seer monocle. What is this one? Super Circuit Maker. Yeesh. I do not know that mod at all. So we'll equip it. And what you'll see when I look at this flower is its range. Its AoE range. This is the area that it can pick up food in. Now if we look at the Endoflame, that is the range it can pick up coal or blaze rods or blaze lamps. What else can burn in a furnace? You know, you got charcoal. You can't do lava buckets. Wood, you know, anything you throw down that's a furnace, a burnable fuel in a furnace. So it's got a really large range, whereas this one's got a teeny tiny little range. We're going to put a dispenser right there. And we'll put food in here. We probably don't need the redstone if I do a hovering hourglass. What do I need for an hourglass? An hourglass is made through Britannia, so it needs some gold, some mana glass. I need more gold. Do I have 4 in here? I need more glass and another piece of redstone. Need to do the mana glass. Alright. There we go. Hourglass. And we have some sand, so I can show you what this is going to do. An hourglass will emit a redstone signal when it flips over. So vanilla sand is 1 second. Let's look at this up real quick. Let's do... Oop. Oh, I should tell you how I did that. This is a shift. You hold your Lexica Britannia and you do shift right click and it'll open up the page for the item you're looking at. It's got... You can use sand, red sand, or soul sand. Each of them have different times, and that's what I wanted to look up. Sand is 1 second per, red sand is 10 seconds per, and soul sand is 1 minute per. can't mix them up. You have to use only one kind of sand at a time. But there you go. We're gonna put some sand in there. I want to put the steak in that I have on me. Not all of it. I'll put that in there. And we know that steak is 4 meat pops. So I believe we need to do 8 or 10 seconds. We need to move our mana spreader. And I'm going to actually put this kind of in the middle. Here perhaps. Right there. And we're going to point it at the mana pool. You can see it reaches just fine. Now, because we placed the mana spreader after the flower, you can see here when you hover over it with the wand, it is not bound to a mana spreader. It is not connected to the conduit network. We need to do that. Or, so there's 2 ways to do that. You can do that with the wand, or if it's not currently doing anything, or it doesn't have any mana in it, break it and replace it. It will research its effective range for a mana spreader. Now, if you have a lot of mana spreaders in the area and you want that particular generator to go to a specific mana spreader, then you'll do shift right click until the flower is highlighted, and then shift right click on here, and you can see that it did a little like shooting colorful ray. That means it's connected to that one. You can also, if you hover over the flower, it'll show up at the top. You can kind of see it. It highlights the mana spreader it's connected to. So you'll be able to do that. Now, if your mana, if it stops generating or it stops sending mana, that is how you also troubleshoot to see what's happening with why it's not sending mana. Or so you start here. Is your mana pool have space in it? If it does, you go back to the mana spreader. If the mana spreader, when you right click on it, that bar, if it is empty, then you know that it's able to send mana. It's not storing its mana here. There's no buffer. And then you come back here and you right click on the flower, and the flower is empty. It would probably be full if it wasn't able to send mana anywhere. But then you'd be able to see if it's not bound correctly, if this is not pointing at the mana spreader, because it says here the mana pool is attached to the mana spreader this way. That's how you kind of troubleshoot those things. We need some light. Couple of differences between this and a tech mod. I wish it would stop ringing. Okay, the difference between this and a tech mod is that you cannot have walls, you cannot have things in the way. If I were to place a piece of sand here, I believe it's about the right height, you can now see that the mana burst hits the sand. It won't ever reach the mana pool this way. You cannot have things in the way. So, it also says when you right click and hover over the mana spreader, it doesn't show a mana pool underneath of it, which means it cannot link to the mana pool. As soon as I move that sand, it says it's now connected to the mana pool. So there's some troubleshooting for you in case you get confused about what's going on. It cannot have anything in the way from the mana spreader to where it needs to send it to the mana pool, the battery. You can't have anything in the way. More often than not, you can have things in the way of generating flowers and the mana spreaders. It connects kind of wirelessly, essentially. So you've got that, and keep that in mind. All right. So let's start with 10 sand. This is 10 seconds. We'll watch it, and we're gonna see if I have enough time in between. So when it flips over, there you go. It fed a piece of steak to the Gormorillus. The Gormorillus ate it. You just heard that. And now it's producing mana. And that was too soon. Can you see I still had mana in here? Right click to take it out. Let's try 20 seconds. Alright. It slows down, as you can see, it's got a whole bunch of mana left in it, and that is because this mana spreader is full. One option, that is too fast still. One option, if your mana spreader is having difficulty keeping up on the amount of mana it needs to send, there are a couple of options. Just look at all that mana it just created for that piece of steak. A lot of mana. You can add a efficiency lens and a velocity lens. Lenses are sort of like improving your conduit system. Let's see here. I can find it. Lenses. There's lots of different lenses. Velocity increases the speed at which a mana burst travels. There are downsides to all of these, so there's pros and cons of using them. The pro is that it goes faster. The con is that it starts to lose its mana a lot faster, which means it carries less in that case. It goes faster, but it carries less. The potency lens doubles the amount of mana a burst can carry, but it becomes slower and it loses mana a lot faster. And I think this one actually shortens the distance it can travel. Like if I were to do this, you can see the green light. The furthest distance it can travel, this light will stop. It'll just create a little star and be like, that's as far as I can go, configured this way. So you can know how far your conduit can travel in that respect. So we need a lens. Which one do I want? It doesn't have to travel very far, so potency would probably be a good one. Can we craft it? A mana lens and a rune of fire. We've already got a couple of these. A mana lens is just mana with glass. Mana steel with glass in the middle. So let's make one of those. Mana steel and glass, and then fire. Actually, let's put this air one in here. Earth, from when we made our flower. Alright, glass or glass pane, your choice. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. There's a mana lens, and craft it into a special one. There you go. Now this is a mana lens potency. So we whack it on the front of this where it sends its mana. We hold it. It's still within distance, which I knew it would be because I think the distance now is like 10 blocks, and this is no way this is 10 blocks. So now this is empty. So if we make a button, force feed the flower. Alright, we watch it work. There we go. That crunch means it's starting to create mana. This should be working at a faster rate. Much faster. Look at it just consume what's in the flower. A lot faster. Alright, so if we did 20 seconds before, let's see what 20 seconds is now that the mana can move faster. Did it just put all of it? No, okay. So this is ready now to take another piece of steak. It stops sparkling when it's ready as well, just so you guys know. It's no longer sparkling, so it's ready to move on to the next step. Alright, let's see how it works. There we go. And how we doing? Kind of watching the hourglass at the same time. Nope, we need to add more sand. Okay. So, we'll do 25. I really don't think I need all 30, that's why I'm doing that. You consumed. Well, that was a little too close for my preference. So, and this is still full. Alright. Now that's empty. See how much mana gets sent each pulse? Alright, that looks good, because this was done and then it gave one. So we're good there. I'm happy with that. We're going to shift, right click, and lock it. That means we can't take the sand out accidentally. Yep, good. That's doing good. So now we have some mana production. And this, of course, will run out when we're out of steak in here. We just need to keep filling it with food. We'll be able to automate food production and get this so that it just will go and go and go. I'm not going to automate food production at this time. We just need some mana production so that I can make the flower farm, which is going to be our step for today. So we have some basic mana gen. This will fill up this mana pool in like an hour. If you make sure it's got steak for the whole hour, this will be full in an hour, which is pretty darn good. It's hard for you guys to understand who are used to capacitors. This mana pool is ginormous. It holds a ton of mana. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump my microphone there. a lot of mana. So yeah, it looks tiny, holds a lot. It's bigger on the inside. If anyone knows where that's from. Alright, so we're gonna do a Jaded Amaranthus farm. Jaded Amaranthus is the method for completing the challenge. On. Are you not going to show me the challenges? Here they are. TARDIS mana pool. Yeah! There you go. So, Jaded Amaranthus is a functional flower, and it is on the same page. Here we go. Jaded Amaranthus. All it does is you feed it mana from mana pools nearby, and it will sprout mystical flowers around it. We need to make a spring rune, so that means more rune crafting. And we need to make redstone root, which is another thing you guys have not been introduced to today. So the rune of spring is fire and water, which we have those, and we will get them back since this is a tier 2 rune. 3 saplings and some wheat. It does require some mana, a tiny amount. So yeah, let's go grab the items that we need. Three saplings. We'll just grab a handful. We need some wheat. We need to sleep. Alright, now since we moved our mana pool, we are going to want to move our runic altar temporarily, and we're going to need to make another mana spreader. I'm going to put it here. Mana spreader is, I think it's the default recipe in this pack. Yep. You can add lenses to this one too to make your crafting faster. And it says it's already bound to the runic altar, so we don't need to worry about it. And it's even full on mana because it picks up the amount the buffer can hold right away. So, yep. Let us craft 1, 2, 3, 1. And then we needed these two. There we go, Rune of Spring! Grab some more wood. I only have 8 living wood left. We can make some more. Looks to be keeping up on the amount of mana I need. There we go. Alright, so we need a bucket of water in here. Put the Rune of Spring in there because that's the start. And put the other runes away. There we go. We need purple, lime, and green. There's purple. Let's check our pouch before we crack into our tall flowers. There's no lime. There's green. We might be having a problem there. We might not have lime. I don't know if I've seen lime. How many of each? 1. Yeah, okay. We can do that. Let's put this in here. That's for the summer. Okay. We need to concern ourselves with finding lime flowers. Okay, a redstone root. Let's do that real quick. A redstone root is redstone around a pasture seed, I believe. No, grass. Okay, so we need to open up this, get some shears, some grass. Grass, redstone, redstone root. Alright, so put that in there. And so now all we need is to find some lime, a lime flower. Have any. Put you in there too. Just gonna free up our inventory space. Let's take the small flowers out and actually put them in our pouch. Okay, let's go on a lime flower hunt. We need a lime flower. What'll be nice is the Jaded Amaranthus will give us plenty more once we have one. And we just need the one. So keep your eyes peeled for a lime flower and holler if you see one that I don't see. So that is not a lime flower. Well, I've been this way before, I recall. I'm not sure how far I went. So we're gonna just keep our eyes peeled. I'm pretty certain that they're still not biome specific. They'll just spawn in clusters pretty much anywhere. We're just gonna look, see if I can find any. I wonder if I'll see any from up here. Maybe a good vantage point. Let's see. I wonder if they'll load in or if I have to be nearby. Whoa, let's not fall in there. Magenta ones, like the one that I have on my head. There's green. Let's just give me green. Sure. That's a natura flower. There's some gray ones. Okay. Not seeing a whole bunch of flowers in this biome. Well, we're finding green ones, that's for sure, just not lime green. Alright. Go this way some more. There, look! Lime, I see it! Yeah, I could do floral fertilizer. That just takes too much time. Shopping for it in the natural world is better for me. There we go. We have 2. Is there any more around here? We only need 1 petal, but yay, we found one. So, woo! Let's go home. And add it here, turn it into petals. There we go. And now we just need a seed. Excuse me. Throw that in there. Woohoo! Jaded Amaranthus. Now, show you what this does. We'll put it down here. I am going to put it up there eventually. But anywhere within its range... Here, let me put it up here so you guys can see its range. There you go. That's its range. It will generate flowers in this range. Okay. It just needs a mana pool. So we're going to put it down here for now. It's sparkling, meaning it's going to work. And then, there you go. It's just going to create a lot of flowers. Okay. And we'll be able to harvest these flowers and we'll keep making flowers. And that is the start of the flower farm. Again, I'm going to want to put it up here and I'm going to put it inside a greenhouse so that, you know, greenhouse has flowers in it. I believe it will also place flowers up with, I don't remember how many tiers. Where's my... Oh, there it is. I'm like looking beyond. Let's see how far up you'll go because you're going up here. You do one here. How about there? Have to wait a bit. Is it using up a lot of my mana, perhaps? No. Alright, I want to see you put one here. It'll be the same as this height. I can't remember how high up it can go. That's my problem. Are you out of steak already? You are. Okay. Good to know. Gonna have to get some more food. Flowers for days. Alright. I need to food. I need to make some more, cook some more steak. No. There, it went up 2. Can you go up any higher than that? Can you go to here? Find out. running out of places to put flowers. You're not in the way, are you? Up here, so that's good. Okay. I just want to make sure that it says it's still paired. Yeah, okay. It looks like 2 is the highest. I haven't seen one show up there, and it's in its range, so I'm gonna assume it doesn't go up any higher than 2 steps, which is still awesome. Because I'll be able to oh goodness. It went up. Ooh, next test. Oh goodness. Are we happy? I know I am. Oh, it just... How high up? How big is your range? I'll be able to fill this, the greenhouse all the way full of flowers. It'll be so cool. Alright, well, you may be wondering, now that we have flowers, how do you harvest flowers automatically? Especially when it makes a giant field like that. Well, Botania's got you covered. All you need is a Drum of the Wild. This right here. This Drum of the Wild is an upgrade to the Horn of the Wild. We need to make some more living wood to do that. And the Horn of the Wild is like a lawnmower. It collects, you know, it breaks grass and flowers and everything in its way. I don't think we have wood in there. And it also works on Botania flowers, and it will not break functional or generation flowers. So your generators and your functional flowers will not break when you use the Drum of the Wild. Whoops. I don't have my axe. Okay. To make a pasture seed, you need a seed. And you need to throw it in a mana pool. It didn't go up to that one. Isn't it? A seed in a mana pool? Maybe it's grass in a mana pool. It is. It's grass in a mana pool. Hi. Let's get some grass. There we go. And the Drum of the Wild. There we go. Let me show you what it does. Let's go up here. Right click and hold. Check it out. So you can clear out entire areas this way. have another zombie walking this way, but we're gonna put these magenta flowers away first. There we go. Alright, so to upgrade to the Drum of the Wild, what else do I need other than I need leather? 2 leather. There we go. Now, the Drum of the Wild works differently than the horn. I see a zombie. He must be... Oh, there he is. A horn requires a blast of mana to work. I wonder if we can put it in front of this burst temporarily just to show you what it does. Okay, please. There you go. It harvested flowers. Well, it didn't harvest. It uprooted them so that you can then pick them up, which we will be doing with a hopper hawk. Or we could use another, you know, modded method. Do this. Okay. And it's of course placing more flowers. Won't go up that high though, otherwise it would have placed one there. But that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiers of, well, 5 tiers above. Good to know. Can you shrink a jaded amaranthus? That's what I have to wonder. So it doesn't make nearly as big of an area. Where's my Lexica? Oh, hi. He's got strength. And manipulation basics? No. Flower shrinking. Some functional flowers have a bit too much reach. Sometimes one might not want that to be the case. Tossing one of these few flowers in a mana pool with an alchemy catalyst, which we haven't made yet, will, at the cost of some mana, shrink it, making its radius smaller. Every other function remains the same. The Jaded Amaranthus is not in that list. Good to know, though. Okay. Blah. Alright. Flower farm. We can't check it off yet. I was kind of hoping I could make it smaller, but the only way to not get these flowers to generate outside the area that I want is to make it a non-grass block. Otherwise, I think it's a 9x9 field. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.